Well, Ingrid and John, what a great show listening to you both chat away there. It was really interesting, some of the points you made, and I'll get back to some of the public speaking and what it's like being on camera. But I think a lot of business owners are looking at yourself, Ingrid, and going, wow, you took that step. You took that step from being a real estate agent to actually doing your triannual and stepping into business for yourself. Could you give them a bit of an insight what that was like emotionally and what you actually did to be able to take that step across that threshold?
Absolutely. Okay, so there's a little bit of a story, but I'll keep it short. All right. So the driving force behind it, when I first did my course, I was 26 years old, and in the room there would have been 100 real estate agents, and the speaker at the time, Mr. Bob Rossi, he was the trainer, and he said to us, there'll be 2 of you out of 100 agents that actually do your triennial licence and you will survive this industry. Well, that was the truth. So I decided I was going to be one of those people. In that moment in time, I decided I was going to be one of those people. So at 26 years old, I'd made that decision. And then when I turned, so was it 2009, so 40, my children were more grown. So I had a 15-year-old and a 19-year-old at that stage. And I had the opportunity to go and do my licence. So it was 10 months of intense study working. I was still working 30 hours a week. I was doing 7.5 hours of study on average a week. That was just at the TAFE, and then after that I would have to do around 20 to 25 hours on the course itself. So that was the additional unit. So it was quite intense. The decision behind it was really, I wanted to share what I'd learnt about real estate. And I wanted to share I suppose the service part of our industry, more so than anything. I suppose we all grow up thinking we can do something better. Well, I thought I could do it better, so...
That's great, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's great, no, that's great.
I actually like the honesty. John, just touch on that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but how many people go into business for themselves because of that sentiment? I think I can do this better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, I find it all the time with businesses that they've got this something inside of them that says, you know, we can change the world. Oh, sorry, yes.
Yeah, so you say you change the world. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay, yes. Yes, so I find it all the time, that people are doing what they're doing. I've got a business owner right now who wants to take his business from being in Western Australia to Australia, but he wants to take it to the world. And we've got a way in which we are going to go about doing that because he sees the failures in business and he's worked out the answers. And it's driving him and he's motivated, and it really is exciting people like Ingrid and my client Ryan doing those things, because so many people make so many mistakes and don't get engaged with change.
So Ingrid, when you're saying that, was it the fact you wanted to share the service aspects of it to help other people? Do you think that actual attitude and driving force got you through the course rather than just chasing money?
Absolutely. You've got. I think. Well, I don't know many business owners that aren't passionate when they start their businesses. All right. What happens is they get. We as business owners become too focused on the dollar productive activities as opposed to remaining in the passionate space. The reason why you started the business initially, and I think a lot of that is because we're learning all the time as business people, and sometimes we're not engaging the right people to help us learn the right parts of our business. So something I've learned about business is that, let's say my forte is not administrative tasks, okay? It's just not.
I'm
okay?
joining you in that one.
Okay, all right. It's not that I can't do them, and it's not that I can't engage in them, but it's not where I need to be in my business. So by putting my time and space and energy into that, I'm actually depleting my energy levels.
That's right.
So when I deplete my energy levels, I then can't function in the space that I want to function from.
That's right.
So you lose your passion by doing things that you're always in a growth phase in business. You know, I'll do that once I get a person in to do that, or I'll stop doing that when somebody else comes in to do that for me. And you lose that passion and you get caught in the humdrum, and then suddenly you lose the passion, and before you know it, your business is heading south and you're in trouble. So
John,
Ingrid has identified a very powerful area of
Yep.
energy. Michael, you were
yeah,
going.
I was going to ask you, John, on this. How many times do you actually, when you step in to help business owners, you find that their passion or their energy is depleted because they're actually doing things that aren't the motivator for them personally?
Absolutely. I find it on a regular basis. And I use a tool to also help people see that for themselves and show them what energy does. So if you're enjoying your role and you're doing it well, your energy is going to work. When you're not doing it well, exactly what Ingrid said actually happens. You really are tired at the end of the day, and you wonder why, because you know you're trying to do business, but you haven't actually understood where your passions and motivations really lie. And so having the kind of conversations that Ingrid and I have had, and that I have with my clients, is understand where you work best, and whether it's early in the day, during the day, how long you actually want to work for, whether it's a half an hour, and understanding that and letting the energy work. So for me, I love coaching. At the end of a session, I'm wired. It's great. But if I'm doing admin, I can do it, but mate, I got to go and do something else to get my energy back to renew. So the power of that is really important to understand.
So, Ingrid, recognizing that within yourself, and now as the joint owner of a business with a trainer license, what part of your training do you give your staff to try and capture their passions? Is that part of your mentorship with your staff?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, a lot of, I find a lot of my time in business is actually spent with my team, because I know if they're okay and they're engaged and their energy is good and you know, they're feeling happy in their workplace and their workspace, then they'll give more to their clients. So in order to serve our clients as a whole, I serve the team as a whole. So you know, a lot of it is you know, sometimes it's just, you know, they need to leave work early because one of their kids is sick, or you know, they have family too, so their kids might be sick, or they might. You know, hubby might be having problems at work, and you know, or family and life happens to everybody. It's not just, I suppose, business is not just about business. It's about people, and it's not the people that we serve as our clients. It's also about the people in our business that we serve as our clients too.
Yes.
When do you think you came to that realisation? Because I think a lot of business owners struggle with that. When was the turning point for you, or is it something that always just innate in you, do you think?
Well, I don't really know. I think I've always, well, not always, I suppose about 15 years ago, working for other people was where I recognised what I didn't want. So I learnt through my own personal experiences of, you know, if my bosses had treated me, or if I could have had that, if I could have had that. And excuse my honesty, I don't know any other way to be. It's, there are some really horrible business owners. And you know,
absolutely,
you know, because they've lost their passion.
Yes.
What a good point.
Yeah.
It is. But this is what business owners do. They think the staff are to serve them.
Yeah, it's not.
And that's where business owners mix the metaphor. Yes, you're employing them. Yes, you're paying them. Yes, you're putting all the stuff you need to do for them. But when you motivate them, empower them, and release them into their potential, they will, like we've discussed, they will run harder, faster, wider, broader, amazingly. And I can prove it from benchmarking. But for business owners to make that flip and understand, let me use this language and let me describe it to you. It's called servant leadership. And the triangle is you're not at the top going down, you're at the bottom pushing up, and releasing people into all their amazingness that they have. And when we do that as business owners, like Ingrid has described, and I've seen her office, there is a happy bunch of people there, and the business is flourishing because Ingrid is a servant leader, even though she might not have been able to describe it in those actual terms, and her team love her for it.
Ingrid, from a personal perspective, when you empower your teams and you actually serve them, what does it give you back on a personal level? Is it more freedom? Is it more...
It gives me a real sense of joy.
That's great.
It actually gives me a sense of I'm helping somebody. I'm helping them to see their potential. Oh, emotional.
Wow.
I get to see my team grow, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't
Sorry.
it fantastic? And John,
Yeah.
when you find you work with business owners and they hit that turning point and they get those experiences, do you find that it's when the magic comes back? The dollars and cents wash away and all of a sudden magic comes into the world?
Well, my new client, Ryan, he's just put a PA on, and she is magic. And he's able to give her, and she takes it and just runs with it, and he's able to be released into all the other stuff, and he is just so grateful that he's got competency in the room that helps him do all these dreams that he has, but he celebrates her, and he's thankful for her. He values her, and she goes the extra mile all the time for him because she's grateful that she's got a job and something that she is enjoying doing. And you know, to watch Ingrid be so moved by the fact of what her team do for her, having that sense of joy, I think if many more businesses owners understand that, releasing yourself through your team, watching what they will do, you know, we will release joy into the world, which is just wonderful, and we'll have better work environments, which is just really, really cool.
Now, I'm going to switch tangents a little bit because you talked about public speaking. And I suppose one of the questions comes up, a lot of business owners get told, I'll learn public speaking, it's one of the best ways to promote your business. Oh, look, I personally believe it is. But from your own perspective, what is gravitating you now towards going, I want to become a better public speaker, or even want to try public speaking?
I really want to share what I know about people, and business is about people. It's initially it starts with us, and we're still people, and that's around your client and the person, and then from there you'll engage some staff, and then it's around more people, and then they get to serve your clients, and you get to serve your staff, and it just. I think there's so much to share, and not enough people. Well, I should actually. There are a lot of people that could share, and they don't because they don't know how to, or they're frightened of the judgment. So for me, this is a real piece around what are people going to think of me, or well, you know, am I being too candid? Am I being too? I don't know. There's all this stuff that we do around public speaking. So yeah.
John, your own attitudes around public speaking?
Oh, it is so important to be able to communicate your story. And I do this on a regular basis. I ask people to listen to this story that they have in them and watch the difference that it makes. I've got to illustrate it again with Ryan. Did it this way. He had a neat name for his business, but we talked about this over 2 or 3 sessions. And all of a sudden he got it. I said, this is what I'm about, and this is my tagline. And he's so excited now because he owns his own story rather than people imposing it on him. And I love that because I said to him, and I say to my clients, I don't live with you. You have to live with yourself, and you have to live with this. Let it be natural and easy for you to be able to share that and watch the difference it makes. And he is so excited now about the difference it's going to make, and it's going to make a lot of difference and know that Ingrid has actually got a great story to tell, and she's going to share it. It's going to make a difference in a lot of people's lives.
Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for staying back and sharing some more extra thoughts with us. Thank you so much, Ingrid LJ Hooker Rockingham.
Thank you.
And Mr. John Hardy.
Yes.